Thanks for joining us today. Hello and welcome to Business Daily. I'm Lee Ji-yoon. We have a lot lined up for you today, so let's get started with the day's highlights. Biometric verification technology, which uses your fingerprints, voice patterns, and even your iris to verify who you are, is about to come into play at local banks to boost security. How often do you use cash to buy things at stores? A growing number of people would say it's more convenient to carry around a smartphone or a credit card instead. And this as more countries set out to become cash-free. 370 billion US dollars. That's how much Korea's foreign exchange reserves rose to last month, which was more than $1.5 billion from a month earlier. As for reasons behind this rise, the Bank of Korea points to an increase in deposits, which rose to over $25 billion. The value of foreign reserves held in securities increased by $260 million compared to the previous month. This rise in reserves comes after a 2 consecutive month fall from July due to currency fluctuations. And as of the end of September, Korea remained the 7th largest holder of foreign reserves in the world. And a new report forecasts that Korea's exports in the fourth quarter will continue to fall, though at a slower pace. On Wednesday, Korea Exim Bank Overseas Economic Research Institute projected that the drop in outbound shipments will be around 9% in the October through December period. That's a slight slowdown from the 9.5% drop recorded in the third quarter. The think tank cited an improved reading on the Export Leading Index, which calculates future growth based on variables like foreign exchange rates and raw material imports. The bank projected that while lukewarm growth is expected to continue in the U.S. and China, a weakening won will help Korea's export outlook and a typical pickup seen towards year-end. Out of the top 100 listed firms in market capitalization, 41 of them have been replaced by newcomers for over the decade. This is according to management evaluation firm CEO Score, which said the largest increase in companies entering the ranks was seen in the service, retail, and pharmaceutical sectors, targeting the domestic market that all added 4 companies each. On the other hand, a number of firms in export-oriented fields such as shipbuilding, machinery, construction, and IT were squeezed out of the top 100 names compared to the list from 2005. Samsung Electronics remained at the top of the list, followed by Hyundai Motor, which jumped up from 4th place, and Korea Electric Power Corporation came in 3rd. Thanks to a number of government measures, we've been seeing Korea's economy slowly rebound. But its exports just keep on falling, continuing their downward streak in October. And the Trade Ministry is hoping that consumer goods showcased at a recent event will help to turn things around. Our Shin Se-min reports on this event.
Drawings of the Joseon Dynasty era, sketched on clocks, hand pouches, and even umbrellas are just a few of the products used daily. Other products with Korea's familiar animated character Pororo and well-known K-pop stars are also catching many eyes.
It's a way for firms to easily approach their consumers using art pieces and famous characters already well known.
Some 500 Korean fashion, home appliance, and health-related product manufacturers attended the Korea Consumer Goods Showcase, displaying products and catching the attention of global buyers. The Trade Ministry said global retailers, including U.S. Amazon, China's #2 online shopping mall, JD.com, and France's Yves Rocher are just a few that attended.
Actually, we are looking for products like whitening products, slimming, and this is something that our customers are looking at in Dubai.
Just last month, Korean exports plunged nearly 16% from a year ago, logging the largest decline of the year. And among the exported products, all sectors, including portable communication devices, showed a significant drop, calling for a need to cater to shifting global demands.
We have to change the structure of our exports. which currently depend largely on intermediary goods to consumer goods.
The Trade Ministry added that the showcasing event is designed to help Korean exporters overcome dropping global demand and put large consumer markets like China to good use through free trade deals. 신세민, Business Daily.
Now, in cool sci-fi movies, we often see people using cutting-edge technology like scanning their irises to get their hands on highly confidential information. But it looks like biometric technology will actually find its way into a local bank here in Korea. Our Lee Joo-young tells us how this might help step up banking security.
Korea's financial technology sector, or fintech industry, is slowly gaining traction, making mobile payments like these a lot easier. But possible security leaks that come with evolving technologies still trouble many potential users of the new services. In an effort to address these concerns and guarantee the strongest level of security possible, Hana Financial Group, one of the country's largest, has teamed up with a government-backed research group known as ETRI, short for Electronics and Telecommunications Research Institute. ETRI has developed a biometric authentication platform, which will be rolled out by banks operating under Hana Financial Group.
It's a verification system that integrates the physical characteristics of various users.
Stripping away authentication certificates or passwords and IDs, the system instead requires users' fingerprints, irises, or facial recognition for verification, offering customers extra security and convenience. The technology has also been certified by a global consortium named FIDO, which aims to offer interoperable verification systems around the world. The ETRI-developed system can be used both on and offline when banking on multiple internet devices such as computers, smartphones, and tablets, and even for safety deposit boxes.
It's very significant that technology, which can enhance the global competitiveness of Korea, was born from the cooperation between ETRI and the financial group.
Hana Group is the first financial organization in Korea to adopt this biometric verification technology. It says it plans to introduce the system by January to be used alongside existing authentication methods. Lee Joo-young, Business Daily.
In this day and age, when it's become so much easier for people to pay for things with their credit cards, debit cards, and mobile phones, more countries around the world are also picking up on this changing habits and pushing for societies that run without cash. Let's take a look at how and why they're doing that.
Back in 2013, the story makes headlines on Swedish media after a bank robber tried to force personnel to hand over money but ended up leaving empty-handed because the bank in question did not deal with cash. Most of Sweden's biggest lenders have stopped manual cash handling services at nearly 3/4 of their local branches. And the country is pushing for a cash-free economy with the belief that it helps cut costs and reduce crime rates. More and more people in this fast-moving society are using credit cards, the internet, and mobile phones to make payments. And Korea is no exception to this trend, as an overwhelming number of people use plastic or mobile services to pay even for goods that are under 1,000 won or $1. So the need for manual cash handling seems to be disappearing around the globe as more countries head towards becoming cashless societies. If notes and coins actually do end up being a thing of the past, what impact will this have on the Korean economy?
Now, looking at the report, I have to admit, I don't carry cash around anymore either because first, I don't even carry around my wallet, and second, it's easier to just pay with my credit card or my phone. But now it's time for us to look at the good and the bad that could come out of this cash-free society. And to tell us more about this, Kim Il-sun, Senior Fellow of the Asia Institute at Sookmyung Women's University, joins us in the studio today. So good to see you.
Well, good to see you again.
All right, so it seems like almost all places here in Korea accept credit cards or mobile payments. And compared to before when we used to see those cash-only signs.
Right.
How does that payment methods compare to then and now?
Well, as we all know, we look at the how people pay their transactions. We see a fast move from cash to credit cards, now onto a mobile platform devices, because the smartphones, everyone has one around the world, and that's changing the landscape so rapidly. And when it comes to fintech startups, as we see more and more every single day, they offer so much options to choose from, and they usually offer services that are faster, cheaper, easier, and more convenient to use, so the consumers take advantage of those benefits. Statistics show that about 83% of transactions are being made over online, compared to only about 17% being made by cash. Simply speaking, people are using less and less cash these days, and they are opting for more digital means. We look at this as a cashless society.
All right, then Korea is obviously not alone in this. There are
Sure.
other countries pushing to go and for this drive for a cashless society. But what exactly makes a country cash-free, and to what extent are we talking about?
Sure. Let's first look at the definition of cashless society. People say that when it's cashless society, it means that your right to own the purchasing power or keeping the purchase power on the physical currency is being eliminated, whether you like it or not, because everything is going digital. Payment, transactions, keeping of your assets, and so on and so forth. In the United States and Eurozone, bills and coins account for about 10% of the monetary circulation. And those countries, they are seeing about 0% or near 0% in recent years. So people are using no more of the cash. They are relying on more of the digital format of the payments. Recently we see more of the Apple Pay, Alipay, Samsung Pay type of the platforms these days,
Yes.
and people find it more interesting and easy to use. And especially when you look at the digital cash like Bitcoin, based upon blockchain technology, there is a whole lot of a new innovation that's coming forth. Blockchain enables all the transactions to be recorded and verified on the net. And they offer those transactions cheaper, easier, faster, and so on and so forth. For example, if you want to send money from Seoul to New York, conventionally, you have to pay maybe $20, $30, $40 as a fee. Takes several days, right?
Right.
If you use Bitcoin on the blockchain technology, takes about less than 10 minutes.
Wow.
Takes about 20 cents as opposed to $20, $30.
Wow.
So you can't compare that. So people are preferring more of digital means than analog paper money because it's just better, simply.
Cost saving and time saving.
Sure.
All right, so like we saw in the report, Sweden is one of the world's most cashless nations in the world. Are there any other countries like that?
Sure. We see many countries in the Northern Europe territory leading the way, such as Sweden, as you said, Denmark, Belgium, France, and United Kingdom. They're all moving away from physical currency or the paper money, as we call it, because they see a lot of benefits. Transaction cost of economy is being lowered. And hear this, the crimes can now be traced because everything is digital, everything is recorded. And in Sweden in 2012, they have declared that they want to become a first nation in the world to become cashless.
Wow.
And back in 2014, which is just last year, about 2 or 3 years from the declaration, 80% of the national transaction was done without cash.
Wow, so they're definitely making a move
They're making
forward there.
a very fast progress. Interesting story is that back in 1661, Sweden was the first country in Europe to print bills. So when it comes to monetary policy and currency management, I guess Sweden is leading the way here.
All right, well, as good as all this may sound, there must be some negative effects to going cashless for society.
Well, there are negative effects as well because when you look at digital payments, there is concern of the theft digitally. There's concern of the security breach. So when consumers understand that there is a possible fear of losing your assets or making some error on your transaction, they'll stay away from those transactions. So the governments, as well as the innovative companies, they are forging ahead to create more security measures to create a peace of mind.
All right. Well, on that note, considering that the size of Korea's underground economy is much bigger than the OECD average,
Sure.
Where does Korea stand in its drive to become a cashless nation?
Well, Korea is fastly moving towards cashless nation, and according to MasterCard, they have a study to tell Korea at the tipping point of entering cashless society, because Korean government is encouraging consumers to use more of the credit cards or the online payments by giving tax benefits, as well as they are making it mandatory for the merchants to accept credit card payments. So the entire society is using no more of the cash and moving towards the digital payment transaction society. So Korea is moving fast towards the cashless nation.
All right. Well, just last month, the Bank of Korea said that it will actually closely examine the impact that being cashless is going to have on its monetary policy. What is your opinion on what countries, including Korea, should do in order to minimize the negative effects coming from becoming cashless and then maximize the positive effects from it?
Sure. The first thing that comes to my mind is that government needs to aggressively create incentives for using digital payments over the analog payments. Otherwise, people wouldn't come and try it, such as tax benefits, like I said, more security measures, and more options to enjoy using those digital payment methods. Also, the merchant side needs to be also encouraged. They need to have adequate fee structure to justify they are moving into new devices, which incurs new cost and investments. And all those needs to be coped together to create more of the cashless society. And if I may say finally, all the stakeholders in the digital payment method, whether you are a consumer, merchant, companies providing the services, and government, they kind of need to be invited together and form this sort of a committee to address all the issues pertaining to the growth of the industry.
All right. Thank you so much for your insight today.
No problem.
And that's all I have for you today, but we'll be back tomorrow with more business news that matters to you. So don't forget to tune in then. Thanks for watching and have a great day.